Hey, welcome to this mini lecture. This one is called Introduction to Typography. Any thoughts on the following image? Colgate and Colgate. I'm sure many of you know, especially given that a lot of you are students. The one on the upper left is from a certain prestigious university, Colgate University. The other is from the bottom right is from a delicious tasting toothpaste. Delicious to the mouth, but don't eat it, friends. And thoughts on a similar type of set of images. What's the similarity difference? The one on the left, of course, is for the prestigious university, Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. The one is for a sort of a Letterman sweater with the letters, same typography, but for kale, the delicious vegetable. As an interesting side note, a lot of kale's being eaten at Yale. This is sort of a comedic introduction to a slightly comedic introduction to typography and how we can just play around with letter forms. Again, this is about a quick introduction to typography, just to give you an idea of what it actually is and a little bit of its background. It's a very short lecture. What is typography? I'm asking you for a little bit of an exercise. Why don't you pause the video for a second? What do you think typography, in fact, actually is? It is, I have two quick definitions here. First, it is the art of designing with type. As you can see from some of the associated videos in this set of lessons, there is an art to actually being able to design with type. I think oftentimes we think about for type, it's like pecking away at a keyboard, and there's not a lot of artistry involved in it. And for the most part, it's not, but there is an art to deal with type, and that is typography. And second is the study, use, and design of sets of identical repeated letter forms. That is also typography. Any guesses for this question? How long have we had typography? How long has this wonderful art been around for? Approximately about 5,000 years, and we'll be going into another lecture later on, talking a little bit about its formal history. Again, most of you, because you're watching this most likely on a computer, so some kind of screen, you might be thinking, and this is visualization, of course, why do we have typography? Like if you just every day just peck away at a keyboard, you don't really think about why we have it. But why specifically, I'm asking you, why do we have typography? You might want to pause for a second to think about that. Here's a quick answer. Typography, it helps to assist with communication, or if it's done very poorly, it can in fact harm your communication. Say if you have letter forms, letters that are not very legible, which happens way more frequently if you think about it than we'd like. Also, when you create some kind of visualization, it normally includes some kind of text. Very rarely is it just purely numbers or purely shapes or purely symbols or just lines. It usually involves some kind of text, hence typography. Using typography can help to provide emphasis. For example, I'm sure many of you, if you're mad at someone when you're texting, use all caps. You might use italics to emphasize something. You might use underline, you might use bold, you might use a combination of all those things. So again, that is why typography can be useful. And finally, it can create a mood. As an example, when we looked at the Colgate University and Yale University versus their kind of the playful takes on them, the formalized look of the letters of Yale and Colgate University, it helps to create sort of this kind of underlying mood of seriousness and academic rigor. So that's why we have typography, a couple of different reasons. That was a really quick introduction to typography. I look forward to seeing you in another lecture coming soon.